Hi and welcome to Outwell. In this pitching film we're going to give you some hints and some tips on how to pitch a polycotton tunnel design tent. The tent that we're using for this film is our Maui Reef, which is from our Sun collection, but what we show you can be applied to other tents of a similar style. In tents like this one here, you'll find that they're supplied in two different bags. And in this bag here, you'll find your poles, your ground sheet and your pegs. So we'll just empty this out and show you what to do next. So now that we've emptied our pole bag, all we need to do is start to assemble the poles. This is made very, very easy thanks to the poles being attached from one end to the other with this wire on the inside. So we'll just start assembling these and then show you what to do next. So now that we've assembled all our poles, it's time to put each pole in its individual sleeve. One thing to make sure of here is that if the tent has different lengths of pole, make sure you're getting the right colour-coded pole in the right colour-coded sleeve. That way you can be sure that you can't go wrong. So now that all your steel poles are in place, it's time to attach them to the fly sheet. And this is very easy to do because we use a ring and pin system. Now just before we actually do the ring and pin, what to do is just make sure that you loosen off any adjusting points where the ring and pin is. And then all we need to do is take the pin and pop it into the end of each pole. And then across the opposite side, we'll just do the same thing. So once you have all of your steel poles in place, what I would recommend doing is just pegging out the back, because that will make lifting the tent into position much easier. From here, what we're going to do is raise the tent up, and we'll show you exactly just how to do that. The best idea is just to tuck any excess fabric under the front pole here, and then what we want to do is put the front pole under the next pole, just by pulling it in like so. And then once you're at this stage, you want to put that pole under the next pole, just like so. And then from here, we're simply going to grab hold of the poles and just lift straight up. So, once you're in this position here, we're going to walk the tent forwards from the back. And then all we need to do is grab the front corners of the tent and we'll just peg those out. Once all the steel poles are up and in place, we can then take the pole for our extended frame system and pop that through. Now that all your poles are in place, all we need to do is just make sure that we clip the fly sheet onto the poles in all the different points. Now that you've pegged all four corners of the tent and the poles are in place, we'll open up the door and we'll show you how to put the ground sheet in. So now that your ground sheet's in place, all we need to do is simply zip it in. Next, we take the inners in and we'll show you how to attach these. before pegging out your tent and making it nice and stable, just make sure that you've zipped your doors down. Then what we need to do is make sure we have pulled all the adjusters at the bottom of each pole down to get a good fastening for the poles to the fly sheet. Then what we want to do is start to peg out your ground sheet, then peg out your fly sheet, peg out all the pole pegging points, and last but not least, all of your guy lines. When it comes to packing down your tent, first thing to do is just remove your bedrooms and keep that to one side at the moment. And then remove your ground sheet and keep that with the poles and the pegs to go back in the bag that they came from. Now what we're going to do in a second is just show you how to fold down your fly sheet, but just a little tip or hint for this would be that if it's very, very wet when you are packing down your tent, make sure that when you get home you dry it as quickly as you can and clean it if needs be, just to stop any mould or mildew building up on there. So like I say, we'll now show you just how to fold up the fly sheet. So now from here we just want to fold the tent up, and a good tip here is to place the bag down so that when you fold it up you know exactly how big the tent needs to be to go back in the bag. A nice little thing to do here is lay out the ribbons that come with the tent just in front of it there, so that when you roll it up it's going to be easy just to tie up in place and pop into the bag. So there we go, we can see that doing it like that should make it nice and easy for you to get your tent back in the bag. So that's all our hints and tips for pitching this style of tent. Thank you very much for watching.